Okay, we're live. Hey, Bill, how you doing?
I'm doing great, Jeff. How are you, my friend?
Excellent. Well, I'm Bitcoin Brody, and Bill's the Crypto Cadets, and welcome to Bitcoin Brody and the Crypto
Hello, hello,
Cadets.
hello. Yes, hi, and welcome everybody to our show, to our 3 shows a week
Yeah.
uh, platform channel on YouTube. And it's been so exciting. I've learned so much from you, Jeff, and from my own self-educating in cryptocurrency. And it's been so enjoyable and pleasurable. And I just love the way our format is and how we're moving in the direction that we're going. It's been really good. People are really enjoying it, I think, as well. The way that we just have a simple conversation. None of this is to be taken as financial advice, but for educational and entertainment purposes. There, I got to say it this time.
Yeah.
Last time, you're always saying it. This time, I got it in.
Well done.
Yeah.
And you know what? The bull run's over. That's it. Pack up, go home.
Yeah.
You look at
Yeah.
the numbers. It's like this is the conversation. The bull
Hmm.
run's not over.
Yeah,
We're
it's like the
still
question,
heavily in it.
yeah, is it a correction or is it a dip? Is it at the end of it, right? And that's kind of the questions probably people are asking, right?
There's some. If we looked at some charts, and if you looked at 2017, it's kind of like we're a third to a half of the way through the bull run. Now they're also calling this a super cycle, which means it's going to extend. So, you
Hmm.
know, it's interesting. So what I was having a discussion with a colleague today about is that we're moving into Ethereum season,
Mm.
right? So yes, altcoins mean anything but Bitcoin, and Bitcoin is the dominant. I'll call it
Hmm.
the emperor of the coins, so that I
Yeah.
am gender neutral,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So the one coin to rule them all. Well, it's interesting because there's Ethereum dominance as well, because the Ethereum network and all of the DeFi, decentralized autonomous organizations, DAOs, and the non-fungible tokens, all of this stuff and smart contracts that are built on the Ethereum network. So
Hmm.
Ethereum has influence over its network as well.
Hmm.
So, Ethereum today pumped up to about 2650 US. So
Yeah.
it's on a bit of a tear as well. And we see that Bitcoin is trying to come up, but it's struggling a little bit, and
Mhm.
it's under a bit of a retraction right now.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's bouncing. It's doing the sideways bounce.
It is.
It's the Bitcoin sideways bounce. So when Bitcoin starts losing dominance over the marketplace, that's when it leaves room for the entry of altcoin season.
Yeah. 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 Definitely. It does.
Yeah.
And it's interesting, because I had a little bit of Ethereum and it was doing nothing. It
It
wasn't
was
doing
the new
anything.
stable coin.
Yeah. And so I thought, well, I'm going to sell it because I'm not going to lose. I'll make a little bit. And I think I probably bought more Bitcoin, which is not a bad decision.
Not at all.
No. So it's like, okay, I'll do that. And then I hear about, you're talking about the Ethereum season. It's like, oh, you just can't win for losing. And here's an aspect as far as getting emotionally attached and that ride that we're on all the time once we get involved with this. It's like I have some Cardano, and then we talked about that, or I think we had discussed, and you had spoken about it, how it doesn't have the kind of power that people are saying it has,
Yeah.
to do, whether to not displace Bitcoin, but to have that kind of energy.
Yeah.
And so,
Just to add to that quickly, sorry to interrupt, is
no,
that
go ahead.
it's just not fully deployed yet. There's a lot
Hmm.
of hype, but it's like in the 90s we'd say, "Where's the beef?"
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so I'm watching it, and I have a little bit of that in my crypto.com exchange wallet. And so I'm looking at it, and it's just slightly under. It was up like 25% from when I had purchased it. I thought, well, maybe I should pull it out and buy some more Bitcoin. And then, because after hearing what you had said and did some reading, and it wasn't doing what people were saying it was going to do, only to read some of the updated news that Shopify is adding Cardano to their payment system. So it's like, oh, so what does that mean? How is that going to affect Cardano? Now, what should I do? Should I just wait and leave it? Should I just pull it out anyways? So, these are the kind of day-to-day conundrums that we have if we're, doing research, watching some of the news, seeing what's happening, trying to gather the right kind of information so we can build our plan and have a plan that has some insight into it and some clarity. And then these things happen. It's like, oh, now I'm not even sure what to do.
Well, and this is it. It's like it never fails. Once we sell a token, it's pretty much signaling to the system go up in price. Right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's that long-term hold strategy. I have a friend who wants to get into the crypto space and said, well, I haven't had time to do all the research yet. And I don't know what I should buy. And I said, stop thinking, just buy Bitcoin.
Yeah.
Right. Just buy Bitcoin. And I said, don't worry about the price of Bitcoin. I said, Grayscale bought another $1.5 billion of Bitcoin at $55,000.
Yeah.
Do they think it's the top of the market? I don't think so.
Yeah.
They wouldn't be dumping that much money in if it was. So, I just said, stop overthinking it. Just keep it simple, right? Register with an exchange and just buy something. Yeah. And I said, if it's really that you don't feel good, don't do it.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. If you don't buy stocks and because it's risky, then buying Bitcoin might also be too risky. Buying any, it's like the thing to understand is that cryptocurrency is a speculative market. None of us are, none of us have crystal balls, and none of us have, financial wherewithal to know that the market is moving in one direction or the other. We're guessing, and there's a lot of technical analysis tools, and there's a lot of really smart, experienced people out there that have experience of 2 or 3 market cycles so that they can use the past to predict the future, but we don't know what actually is going to happen. Because as Bill and I are talking, there's so much emotional energy in this, right? And that FOMO, fear of missing out. So it's like, oh my God, Dogecoin hit 47 cents. People are throwing money in. And then we're at the end of the Elliott, the Elliott wave, the top of the 3. So we're in the FOMO, and then it drops. And it does a major correction. And it's like, oh my God, I knew this was this whole cryptocurrency is a scam. It's not a scam.
Yeah.
It's about timing the market.
Yeah.
Right?
And it's also laying blame in the wrong place. It's like we, as adults, we do make our own decisions. And when you do place an order when it's about to drop down and correct, that was our choice. And so, that goes to, and that can really show you who you are. We talk about heart-centered investing, and when those sorts of things happen, it's like, wait a minute, it wasn't the market's fault. I chose to order it then. I'm laying blame where it doesn't even belong. That was my decision. And, so there can be some really great life lessons while we're going through the process of increasing our wealth, becoming financially sovereign.
Well, and that's it. I mean, like, part of it is that, there's this thing called a fear and greed index.
Yeah.
Right. And it's part of it is that we want to make as much money as we can, get into the market at the right time and leave it in as long as we can so we can get the greatest return we can. So that's the greed component, right? And when the market gets overheated with greed, then it's due for a market correction, because we're actually extending beyond, it's like when they say, oh, the market's oversold, Bitcoin's oversold, the altcoins are oversold. And that's the greed index. And then we get a major correction like we've seen. So the fear index has dropped from the 90s into the 50s and 60s range. So that we're in, we've gone from greed to fear.
Yeah.
And this is it's usually in the time of fear is the time to buy. And it's like, go and listen to, people in the know and listen to their technical analysis and see what they're saying. Right. And get don't listen to just one person, listen to a bunch of people, and then figure out what your own what you're trying, what you take away from it.
And on that note, if I can interrupt, this
absolutely.
is a great opportunity that if you aren't a part of a group or support system, join Crypto Canada. from the Facebook, and they're a great private group where you can begin to learn and get a lot of education from the people on there. That's how I met Jeff. That's why we're doing what we're doing. And cryptocurrency questions and answers is another great group. And begin your journey. I think I'm not sure about crypto questions and answers, but Crypto Canada has hashtag subjects. So if you want to learn about Bitcoin, if you want to learn about Ledger or cold wallets, you can go directly to that feed to begin educating yourself.
Yeah, you can use the topics to find
Yeah.
the information.
Yeah.
And so this is it, is that someone had asked a question on our last video.
Mm-hmm.
If I buy Bitcoin at $60,000 and it drops to $20,000 or drops to zero, do I owe anybody any money? And the answer is no.
No.
You don't get any money back. No, no one owes you. You don't owe anything.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Right. And that's the thing, is that when it's zero, it's zero.
Yeah.
I think unlike some of these trading accounts where you can have ongoing fees,
mm-hmm.
right?
Yeah.
So you just pay for the privilege to use the service.
Yeah.
So
exactly.
It's a harrowing time.
Mm-hmm.
And this is where, when we go through these, and it's like I saw a 10% WAG today. It went up 10% and it's back down 10%.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, ooh, and I'm looking, some things are up, like Ethereum jumped, Litecoin
mm-hmm.
jumped, and they both had a bit of a retraction.
Yeah. ENQ jumped too.
Yeah, exactly. Right. So ENQ and, I've seen a lot of green, and now I'm seeing red everywhere. So I think part of it is that the market's moving up and down. So the market's kind of like it jumped up, it jumped down. It's going to jump up, it's going to jump down. That's that hokey pokey moving sideways.
Yeah. And this is where a good chance for you to just kind of sit back and watch it and learn the dynamics of whichever coin you're interested in. Pay attention to it. And try not to allow your emotions to make your decisions for you, and do some research on that.
Yeah. And if you found that this time, if you're feeling a little overexposed and you feel you have too many altcoins in your portfolio,
mm-hmm.
maybe it's an opportunity to look at them and ask yourself, should I be consolidating and moving into a Bitcoin dominant holding? Yeah. Like if I'm not sleeping well at night, or I'm waking up in the middle of the night and grabbing my phone and checking my portfolio, it might be time to move into a Bitcoin dominant portfolio. We know that altcoins, as I call it, are the elevator to some financial wealth.
Mm-hmm.
And, Bitcoin is the steady.
Mm-hmm.
Right? It's old faithful. It's going to get us there.
Yeah.
So like Michael Saylor said, you're going to beat me this year by buying and selling, and talk to me in 10 years, talk to me in 20 years.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Because he's in a long-term position.
Yeah.
So, if it's a get rich quick scheme, it's very different than if it's a slow and steady wins the game. It's like we think about the, Aesop's parable of the tortoise and the hare.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And the tortoise wins that race.
Mm-hmm.
So
he sure does. Yeah. And you can play both scenarios. You can, keep holding your Bitcoin. You can play and begin to learn how to play with the altcoin side of things, and still win on both sides.
Yeah, absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
It's definitely it's an interesting time. It's an interesting space. It's an interesting market.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like I'm learning a heck of a lot about myself.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Me too.
Yeah, it's a big self-discovery thing, and that it's altcoins are high risk, and the reality is cryptocurrency is high risk.
Yeah.
Right. And there was an announcement, that announcement about the U.S. is looking at creating cryptocurrency legislation,
mm-hmm.
so that they can like the U.S. has felt that they've been falling behind the cryptocurrency curve, and they want to figure out how they can support innovation.
And that's good news. To some people, it's bad news because they think it challenges or they're going to take away their baby. Because people that are, what I'm finding is the people that are in cryptocurrency are so passionate because it's such a brand new, exciting thing. You know, so many great projects are being created for the betterment of the whole network and system in general. And it's decentralized, and people love that. And people, power to the people to control their own wealth, without third party. And so they hear any news like that from government, people can become a knee-jerk reaction and not realize that actually this could be a good thing.
Yeah, it was interesting. I looked at the other side of sword. I have a friend who's in the cryptocurrency space, and he was saying, it's about time because, being in the US and there's 53 different regulations we have to understand, and we have to try and figure out how we adhere to them so we're not breaking any laws is really difficult. So it's really enlightening to see that there is a motion to have the USA become focused on a single legislation. And my thing was we need to be aware, unless there's a voice there that represents the retail investor, you and I, that the other voices there are going to be representing their best interests, right? And I said, one of the things about legislation is that how is it going to be if the securities commissions and the banks and the financial investors are there, and decentralized or autonomous organizations means that you don't know who runs the organization. How's that going to go? And decentralized finance, how's that going to go? So it's going to be interesting. They've got their work cut out for them.
Yeah, they do. Yeah, who gets to be the voice for the decentralized system? Right. And
the interesting thing is, whatever we say, it's the reality that we create, whatever we believe. So let's believe that everything will work out for the best. And it's decentralized finance. It's decentralized autonomous organizations. So we just continue on the way we've always been.
Yeah, exactly.
So exciting stuff.
Just to add to that, we know it's here to stay. Like I mentioned earlier, Shopify is adding Cardano, ShakePay is adding a Visa card. So different exchanges, governments and whatnot, and businesses, corporations are beginning to implement or expand what they offer, which means that it's gaining more acceptance, and they're going to be utilizing it, and more eyes are going to be on it, right? So Eminem is looking at NFTs. Well, there's a whole audience that may not even be aware of Bitcoin and cryptocurrency that now is going to learn about it because of his following. So, these are all, exciting times, like you said, and it's going to just continue to expand until everyone begins to understand this is happening.
Yeah, it is happening, and it's here to stay. And there's a long game in this. And the fact that, Bitcoin was developed in 2008, launched in 2009. So here we are 12 years later, 13 years later. And it's actually, today it has a following.
Yeah.
Today it's, today it's being invested in by the largest institutions in the world. So cryptocurrency is real. Governments are setting legislation not to ban it, but to figure out how to leverage it and how to make it so that their country will prosper.
Yeah.
Right. So I think that's what we need to understand is that, it always comes back to with great freedom comes great responsibility.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
And that, we're the master of our own ship. And it's that, like yourself, Bill, I learned from my emotional journey.
Yeah, I saw your post about what did you say about life is How did you say that again? You're just loving life today.
Yeah, life is amazing.
Yeah, it really is.
Right, the journey is amazing,
Yeah.
and part of it is it's we create our reality.
You know, we really do, because 3 months ago, if someone said, Bill, you're going to be investing in Bitcoin, you're going to meet somebody on Crypto Canada because you joined the group and you're going to be doing videos. It's like, what are you talking about? I can't afford a Bitcoin. Well, actually, you can, because you don't have to buy a whole Bitcoin. You can buy just a very small portion of it. I can? Well, okay, sign me up. Right? 3 months ago, like I'm 2.5 months in this journey, and already my life has changed. Right? So, and it can happen fast, just like the markets can happen.
Yeah,
You know, they can pump and dump fast. But
yeah.
yeah, it's been really exciting.
It's spend your time planning. You know, work the plan as best you can,
Hmm.
and improvise where we have to.
Yeah,
Right,
and
and
don't be a maverick.
yeah, and I was saying, my post said, "I'm having the most amazing human experience ever."
Right. Yeah.
Right, that was my
Mhm.
post, and
Right. Yeah.
that was from 2018, and it still continues today. Right.
Yeah. It's amazing.
And, it's like I meet amazing people like yourself
Hmm.
when I
Thank
joined
you.
Crypto Canada, and it's the rising tide lifts all ships.
Hmm.
And I go ahead, drop your comments, like the video, share the video. Let us know what you'd like to hear in upcoming editions of Bitcoin Brody and the Crypto Cadets for
Yeah.
your entertainment and education. Um, I had a request to talk about the Binance Smart Chain on an
Hmm.
upcoming episode, so
Oh,
maybe
awesome.
we can talk a little bit about that. Binance Smart Chain,
Mhm.
Pancake Swap,
Sure.
some of the DeFi stuff. So
That makes me
there's some
hungry.
interesting. Yeah, and I mean all of the food stuff, right?
I
And
know.
it's interesting. So yeah, there's a lot of exciting stuff out there, but it
Yeah.
all comes down to, do we have the emotional wherewithal
Yeah.
to weather the storm?
Yeah.
Because if you can weather the storm, then when it comes to smooth sailing, you've got a better chance of reaching your destination.
Yeah. Definitely. Definitely.
All right, Bill.
All right. All right, Jeff. Thank you. This was a nice, short, and sweet one.
Absolutely. You
Yeah.
have yourself a great evening, and
Yeah.
folks out there, we look forward to seeing you again on Saturday.
Yes.
All right.
See you,
Bye
everybody.
for now.
Yeah. Bye.